One of my friends when I was a teenager was a guy named Tommy. He and I played trombone in the high school band together. And years later, at a reunion in my hometown, he and I reconnected. And it turned out that both of us had become ministers. Tommy was the leader of a small Pentecostal church back in the hollers of West Virginia. And he told me that he felt that his calling was to preach the Word of God. He asked me about Unitarian Universalism. And I told him that, well, at least in a way, I felt my calling was to preach the words of God. That is because, as you use, we really like our words. We embrace a diversity of language and terms for describing what it is that we hold sacred and declaring what faith means to us. Now, I love words as much as the next Unitarian Universalist. But I must confess to you that whenever someone comes running up and says, we need to rewrite our bylaws, or I think that we should compose a new church covenant, I'm not always immediately enthusiastic. Our democracy is crumbling. With our federal government being weaponized and white supremacy taking over, I find myself wondering, is this really the best time for us to be spending our attention and our energy on wordsmithing some church document? Amid all of the anxiety, fear, and despair that so many of us are experiencing, is engaging in such work simply navel-gazing? Is it just a way of distracting ourselves from engaging in actions for justice and liberation that might feel risky or even a little dangerous? Well, I think that rewriting our All People's Mission Statement could be that. But here, I do not think, and I do not believe, that doing that right now is that. And in fact, I think that with all that is happening, now might just be the perfect time for our church community to be having intentional conversations around the questions of who we are, why we are here, and what we are doing. It is probably more vital than ever to have clarity around these essential questions of shared identity. It's more important than ever for several reasons, I think. The first is that we are living through times which are exhausting and continuously challenge our ability to remain hopeful, resilient, and connected. This community helps us overcome that desire to just give in or give up. And we are here to remind one another that love is powerful, that resistance matters, that transformation and love are always possible. Being better able to articulate what that means, how it works, gives us a renewed sense of direction and inspiration when days are hard. Think about it as you're on a bus, right? And you're looking for the right bus. And what does the sign on the front of the bus say? It helps you know where that bus is going. And having a really clear sense of what's on the front of our bus, that could be incredibly empowering right now. Over the past few years, All Peoples has welcomed so many newcomers to our bus, to our congregation. And I hear from folks all the time that what we are doing here together is something that many of our neighbors are yearning to be a part of. As we create deeper relationships with others across our Louisville metro community, and as more visitors arrive at our doors, our capacity to collectively declare the purpose and the vision that we share will make a difference. This process of reimagining our church mission is meant to engage and involve all of us. We have some wonderful, great leaders who are going to be helping us, but this is a collective thing. The result is not going to be my mission statement. It's not going to even be your mission statement. It is going to be our mission statement. And so, I ask you to take a little time now, right here in the service, to help us out with this process, to consider some of what resonates for you about our All Peoples community here. So, did everybody get a card when they came in? If you did not get one of these cards, raise your hand and the beautiful Katie Donner will come over and get you one. I invite you to take out the card that you have or are about to be given and take a few moments to read through each of the questions that are on that card. Let them just settle in to your mind and your heart. And then as you feel comfortable, grab a pen. There are pens in the back of all of the chairs. If you're sitting in the front row, you're going to have to borrow one from somebody. And you can pull out the card and write down your responses to these questions. Please don't worry about making them super articulate or fully thought out or in some kind of a final form. I encourage you to just write what's in your heart, what comes to mind when you see those questions. But please do write legibly so that others can read them afterwards. And those of you that are with us online this morning, you can participate in this as well, and we really want you to. In the Zoom chat right now, you are going to find the link to an online survey about our mission, and you can click on it now, or you can save the link, or the link is going to be in your email too. You can fill it out whenever you'd like to, and we really encourage you to do that. So we're going to spend a little time right now considering who, what, and why of this beloved community. And Chris is going to play some music for us. if you need a little more time, just keep writing. Make yourself at home. I just want to just point out that this morning's service was probably going to look and feel a little bit different than it did. We've had multiple folks who have had to bow out unexpectedly, and wonderful, wonderful people who have stepped in to offer us music, help lead parts of our service today. And when I think of all people, some of those questions about that, it's just that attitude that folks that are willing to give of themselves, and I am so, so appreciative of it. And so now Deborah is going to share with us a little bit about what happens next with this.
We'll be collecting the cards as you exit the sanctuary today, and our mission team members will read through your responses. I encourage you to check out the in-depth questionnaire that's posted online. There are a handful more questions on that. Bruce mentioned that. And add your responses to questions there as well. And this link will be in your email on Wednesday. In the coming weeks, we'll be continuing this conversation in our chalice circles, connection groups, church committees, and other gatherings, including at a special town hall meeting after church on Sunday, February 22nd. Our team will take everything into consideration as we work to create a new mission statement for all peoples. In early April, we'll share a draft version with you and the board, all with the goal of having a final statement to be voted on by all church members at the congregational meeting in May. So I and the team want to thank you very sincerely for your participation in this.
Another thing that just comes to mind is I think it says a lot that we are a church that wants to hear from you. Do you know what I mean? That your voice and your thoughts in this really matter because we're all in this together.